Hi everyone, Great Power 60 here. I'm just sitting down. Was just checking out. I kind of zoomed out a little bit to show you more of my desk area. I promise, at least I think, I'm going to just adjust my camera here. I hope I'm not going to whine and complain on this video. Yeah. Okay, so I found another bag full of goodies. And in this envelope, I've got cards and, ephemera here. And I've also got more stuff in there, different shapes and so on. And I had this paper. It was quite a large piece of paper. And I did a couple of things tonight. A couple of things. I'm going to grab it down here because, I was complaining. I don't know if I made a video on this, and forgive me if I have. For this part, just ignore it. Go fast forward, do whatever you like. But I was really trying to get in the crafty mood and try and do things. So earlier what I did, and I was watching Gail Gostinelli. Hopefully I'll put a link. I think I've done this before. I'm pretty sure I did these little mini envelopes. And what I've done with these mini envelopes is I've added some words. Here's another one with a number from my number pack. And of course, this is the little, I was proud of this one. I don't know why. I don't know why I was so proud of this one. But anyway, this is making mini envelopes. I added a little, gosh, I hope. Oh, I have to stop. Sorry, I'm on low power mode, so I'm not sure how long this is going to last. So let's see if I can do just a quick video. So I don't remember. I think I made these little mini envelopes before. These are mini envelope clusters. So I just made a few. I added the numbers that I got. I added this a little note on here. This one I don't like, but I rickrack on it. This one here, a little lace and a little number 7. Sorry, I'm going fast. Anyway, because that's not why I wanted to do this video. That's what I was playing with earlier. And I know I have some other somewhere. Anyway, I came across this paper, and it's quite thick paper. So I decided to make a couple of tags with it. And I can't remember some video I saw where using triangles along this way kind of added something. Now it still needs to be finished, but at least I'm, getting them prepared so that if I ever need it in a journal, I've got it. I've got the hole in here. Now this one I did a little differently. I think it's a 1.5 inch scallop, and I should have done it with the other ones, but this one has a little tuck spot in it, so you could put stuff in it. And this paper comes from a pad that is 6 by 8, I think, or 6 by 11, something really weird. So this was a page, I remember it was in that video. So I've got some 2-inch circles, and then I got some scallop circles, and then I made some 1-inch circles. And I, just to use up that sheet of paper, that's what I did. You never know when I might need either the green side or, well, not green, it's kind of a turquoise blue, or the other circles. I don't know. I still have some more strips here, and I was going to do some, I had cut out the rest of this in 2-inch squares, and I just folded corner to corner to make a 2-inch square to make these triangles. But I wish now that I had maybe made it upside down and tucks. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I was doing. So I had these as well, and I had some paper that I was going to use for scraps. I thought maybe I'd make some cluster strips. So if I wanted to have, you know, maybe a tuck spot in on a paper, you know, if I wanted to have whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, and then I came across this. And this is a collage of papers that I just cut up, and these are old papers individually. A lot of these, they're individual papers that were either those round, odd shape ones that I got from the Multicraft clearance place, or weird shape. Anyway, I decided to cut them up and tape them, glue them onto a board and make kind of a master board. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, what could I do with that? You know, I could cut out the 4 squares and make that into, with a little, you know, rounded corners, and maybe put a little notch in here, and that could be used somewhere on some kind of page in a journal. Or I could cut these down, say 3 long here, and make tag with it, and then these maybe smaller ones, and make journaling cards, little journaling cards. I don't know. So I'm sitting here thinking. So while I was thinking about this, I saw this paper and I decided, well, let's just cut some tags out of it. After, because I was looking at this and I was thinking, oh, I could make circles and then maybe put them on these, you know, to embellish them a little bit more. And then I took my scallop punch and I punched out a bunch. And then I decided to make a little tuck spot on there. So they're not finished, but at least it'll go in my stash. And I finally am organizing my not quite finished tags, etc. So I'm trying to think of what I could do with these, you know, because they're totally geometric. I could cut them out individually, which is kind of dumb because I could have done that before, you know, make clusters out of them, make geometric clusters. I could strip them down smaller, maybe cut them in half, and maybe rip down the side, make it more, and they could be belly bands. So that's another thing. But since it's sitting in there, I'm going to take out my paper cutter, and rather than think about it 5 or 6 times, rather than try and come up with something, I think I'm going to cut these in half. So there'll be 1-inch squares instead of a 2-inch square, and then decide what to do with it later. So now I've got this one, and I'm going to cut this one. Try and, you know, and they may not be absolutely perfect because, you know, sometimes cutting squares, they're not perfect. So these are really great. Now, they're quite flimsy, so they would need to be put onto something, or maybe once, you know, I get some book paper and glue it together, it'll be a little bit better. And then, of course, I can trim off these pieces. The other thing I could do is, let me get that straight. I just want to cut it up and use it because it's been sitting there forever. And again, like I say, it's floppy because the paper underneath is not a heavy duty. So I could cut this one down this way. Oop, it didn't cut all the way through. That doesn't matter. I'll tear it, and I don't mind a little bit of a mess. So we've got some, you know, tags that I could use. I could also cut this into 1-inch strips. Hopefully it'll be straight enough, but again, I can use that in, or I could even do this, which might be a little more interesting, and make this into a tag and maybe cut it down or something. But I kind of like that, splitting it up that way. I kind of like that idea. It's kind of cool. I'm glad I thought of it. Oh my goodness. So that was my master board. Now I've cut it up into these little shapes. Now I can also cut them down round the corners or do whatever and make them into, and the same with these individually. I could make those into clusters when I learn how to do them properly. So anyway, that is what I'm looking at. I'm not going to take up too much time with my video trying to figure out what I'm going to do with all of these, but I just thought I would share that. I'm going to probably take these longer ones and get out some music paper, get out some, you know, I could probably use some of this, strip it down because there's music on there and there's blue. Not that blue would go with any of those, but you never know. Once I rip it down and fold it over, you know, cut it up, fold it over, and then I'm going to have some strips that I can put on a backing if I want to. We'll see how that goes. And I've got more paper here that I could use and then make it wider or just, you know, make it smaller. But that's what I thought I would do with these strips is these probably tags. I'll probably make tags out of these. These I could probably make something kind of cool out of these. I could probably, you know, add something here or put it in the center. And I don't know, you know, I have no idea, you know, what I'm going to do with these. But at least I have it all cut up. It was one big sheet. And this will give me something to think about, what I want to do with them and how I want to, you know, put them together and what I want to think about and, you know, and do I want to come along and distress the edges, which I probably will do on that. So that's what I'm up to tonight. I've also took out this little mini alphabet stamp set, and I thought maybe I might, you know, I might even just stamp away at some of these things. Not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. But anyway, I want to get a little creative with it. And like I say, you know, I can always cut these into 2-inch squares and do something with it. I don't know yet. But that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of, you know, I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything tonight, trying to, you know, use up some of the scraps. I've got this another big bag of scraps. And I found, see what you can find. When I move things from room to room, this is what happens. My words, these are words, should be in, I have a folder over there for only for wording, words and phrases, I call it. So, yeah. And sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and do stuff. And if it turns out, great. And if it doesn't, well, too bad. You know, that's the way it goes. So that's what I'm doing. I'm cutting, tearing, and experimenting. And I really did want to get this down to something. I wanted to do something with it. And I'll play around here. So that's it for me for today. Thanks for joining me. I just wanted to share, you know, my evening with you. I want to thank you guys for always stopping by, for your kind words. I know this has been a whiny week, and I apologize for that. Hopefully, I will get into, as I'm going through my stash of stuff and each shelf on my bookshelf, as I go through the boxes in there of things that I have, of all of my ephemera, of all my papers, of all my scraps, you know, and try and organize it into hopefully one spot, and label my boxes so I know what the heck is in there. Yeah, so that's what I'm up to. Just playing, just coming up with some crazy ideas and trying to make different things. And that's it for me. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.